All right, we're 2 minutes past 11. We're going to get started. Ken, I'm going to have to mute you, unfortunately, just so that we can make sure that the sound is the best that it can be. Good morning, everybody. I hope you are well this morning. We've got Rassie van der Dussen from the Proteas here with us today. Again, just to remind you of the rules, please indicate in the chat panel if you would like to ask a question, and please keep your monitor muted as well as the video function off until you ask the question. Please indicate for the first question. Any takers for Rassie?
This is quite easy.
I know. Percy, please, and then Ken.
Good morning, Sibukazi. Good morning, Rassie. Sibukazi, I just asked you a question. Could I possibly ask him in Afrikaans though, to open this briefing?
Percy, we'll do Afrikaans at the end, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll start with Ken.
Thanks, Sibukazi. Rassie, you guys played against England not that long ago in a white ball series, beginning of the year. What did you guys learn from that series, and do you feel that either you or England are particularly different sides?
Yeah, that was quite a closely fought series, that one, quite fresh in our minds. We feel though that we weren't necessarily at our best, especially looking at the T20 series, which was a disappointing one to lose. We played some really good cricket there, and the irony, I suppose, is we won the East London game, which we probably shouldn't have won, but we played pretty well in the other two, in Durban, with Quinny batting really well, and then us actually chasing really well, needing 3 of 2 balls in Durban to clinch the series, and and we just couldn't get it over the line. And then the Centurion one again, where we batted really well. I think we got 220 odd, and unfortunately we couldn't defend that, which is a score you back your bowling line up to defend. So aspects there that we can improve on. I don't think either team is much of a different team. So it's going to be a case of the team who sort of gets going first. After a long break for us, they've obviously been playing. Luckily for us, some of the IPL guys have been playing. So, like I said, we have pretty obvious areas where we need to improve, and that's what we'll look to do.
Thanks, Rassie. Nathan?
Rassie, the squad obviously assembled last week. Since you guys arrived together, has there been any form of communication from the convener of selectors or management regarding the next 12 months fixture schedule? If so, can you share a bit about what was said? Thank you.
Yeah, we upon arrival, Victor did address us, obviously as new convener of selectors. Graham Smith did address us, and in terms of actual schedule going forward, we don't know too much as of yet, but we know it's going to be really busy. So they basically just told us, look, there's going to be a lot of cricket if everything goes well in the next 12 months. It's a good thing that we've had a few months off, because we're going to be quite busy and on the road quite a bit in the next 12 months, and obviously with the bubble situation, it'll make it a little bit tougher. But we're gearing up to hopefully to play a lot of cricket.
Thank you. Aditya?
Hi, Rassie. This is Aditya from Cricket Fanatics magazine. I wanted to ask, what is Mark Boucher's messaging about the brand of cricket you're expected to play in white ball cricket?
Yeah, I think the overall message has been aggressive but smart. It's something that it's a philosophy that we want to take forward. We've been decent in his term so far. Like I mentioned, the England series where we didn't really click, but then a few things came together nicely against Australia, obviously. Still in the T20 format against Australia, we weren't at our best, losing that series 2-1. So we've got work to do in the T20 format, but as an overall message, we're really clear of how we want to go about it, what our strengths are, and what areas we have to improve on. So, yeah, Mark Boucher, he's been brilliant in terms of clarifying that for us as a team, and from a personal point, role definition from players. So, yeah, I'm quite excited for where we are as a team.
Thanks, Rassie. Craig, Rory, Fidos, and
Hi, Rassie and Superkazi. How are you? Just more on a personal note, you came so close last summer with in tests into getting to 3 figures and in the ODI as well. Is that a personal goal you've set yourself? I know it sounds obvious, but are you more interested in the team, or have you sort of decided that those 3 figures have got to come this summer?
Yeah, it's definitely a goal. I mean, it sounds obvious, but to go out there and perform and make 100 every time you go out to bat, that's a goal that sort of goes without saying. In saying that, that innings at the Wanderers, I don't think it would have made much of a difference there. So it was a disappointing series for us as well. That, albeit Test cricket. But yeah, I think I've got 3 90s and an 80 for the Proteas so far. So it is something that I want to tick off. And hopefully when I get the chance to come close again, I can take it over the line.
Thanks.
Hi, Rassie. How you doing? Just wondered, do you guys feel slightly worse off than England in terms of, they have now played a full summer of cricket. They've sort of had their combinations together. They've played as an 11 a lot. They've even had these 2 practice matches, which for various reasons you guys haven't been able to do. Do you when it's quite tight between 2 sides, is the better prepared team an advantage?
It can be, but not necessarily. Yes, they've come off a full summer of cricket. They've played a bit more than us, like I mentioned earlier. Luckily, we have a few guys that has played IPL, so they do have time in the middle in terms of T20 format. But sport in general, you get thrown curveballs basically every day. So you got to deal with that mentally. I think our preparation has been on point considering everything that's happened. The management and coaching staff has been brilliant to give us everything that we need to an extent that they can. So that's not something we'll look into. It's a good thing that we're starting with T20 format, which is a format you can express yourself and almost catch up to an extent, and 1 or 2 guys in your team can really swing the result. So yeah, it might be a positive for them having that. We're not looking too far into that, and we know that whatever preparation we do have will be sufficient.
thanks, Rassie. Fidos and then Telford.
Hi, Rassie. I just want to apologize because I seem to always be the person asking this question, but we've had a discussion with Boucher and with KG yesterday about the team's decision not to take a knee. You were one of the few white players one of the first white players who came out and supported the Black Lives Matter movement. Can you explain to us how this decision was taken? Is it a majority decision? Why has it been made? And what are you saying to South Africans in deciding this?
But if I can step in here, please, just quickly. The decision was made by the entire team. It was discussed in a team meeting, and I feel as though we have had this discussion now for 2 press conferences, and I would like us to draw a line under it, because we can't keep answering the same questions over and over again. If you would like to have an offline engagement on it, I'm more than happy to. But I would like us to actually start speaking about the England tour now. we'll move on to Telford. Thank you.
Sorry, no, I also wanted to ask a relevant question, so we can carry on with the irrelevant ones.
All right. Would anybody else like to ask Rassie any questions? Junior Steinbank?
Hey, Rassie, I'm not too sure if this falls within the lines because it's not strictly about the England series. I just wanted to speak about the start of 4-day cricket. Obviously, you were involved first couple of rounds. There's some new kids within the setup in your side. Can you speak a little bit about the young men that are coming up at the Wanderers, what you've seen of them so far, maybe some of the young men who you got a bit of a taste of playing against the Cobras, etc. as well?
Yeah, I think it's been great to get out again and play cricket again. We haven't been on the right side of the results, unfortunately, at the line, so we're a bit under pressure. But we have a very strong squad. You know, we've got guys like Josh Richards, Ryan Rickleton, Delano Potgieter, those types of guys. Kagiso Rapulana, who's had a taste before, but will get a good run now. Who's made hundreds for the Lions. And then we've got some fresh faces. A guy like Claudio Bukako making his debut now. Wesley Marshall. So in terms of depth at the Lions, we're quite blessed to have a lot of good performers. And then I'm not even mentioning a guy like Vian Mulder, who's almost a new face again after struggling with injury over the last season or two. So I'm sure he'll be raring to go and show why he was backed at an early stage to play Test cricket and so forth. In terms of other sides, I think there's a few good youngsters going at the moment. Michael Pretorius has done really well for the Knights. Some of the batters, Reinhard van Tonder has done well. And at the Cobras, I mean, I can only speak about the Cobras and the Dolphins because that's who we played. A guy that, like Nandre Berger, who I think is a good prospect, which we were sad to lose at the Lions. I reckon, that's about it. I think a guy like Marcus Ackerman has some really good potential. He's captain of the Dolphins now, so he'll be one to look out for. But I think it's just exciting. I mean, there's a lot of really good youngsters that shows potential, and I think there's opportunity for them to stake a claim if they can put some consistent performances together. You know, I think the Proteas setup is a tough team to break in at the moment, although there are some opportunities. But I mean, if I refer it back to a few years ago when we started playing, you know, you sort of had to put 3-4 seasons together to get a look into a SAA side. So, you know, I think the challenge for the young guys is to not to look too far ahead and make sure you sort of can put some sort of consistency in terms of seasons together.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rassie. Ken Tennis and then
Thanks, Kazi. Rassie, you mentioned the squad being very clear on what areas you need to improve on, especially in T20 cricket, where I guess it's maybe a bit of a mystery that there was such a good ODI performance against Australia, but the T20s, the Proteas haven't really fired lately. What are some of these key areas that you guys are looking to improve on, specifically in T20?
Yeah, I think maybe I'll let me start with the bowling. I think starting well with the ball, which is something we haven't really done. You know, I mean, it's probably, if you look at it, the last series, our opening batters also put their bowlers under a lot of pressure, but being really disciplined in terms of starting with the ball against guys like Jason Roy, you can take the game away. And then I think our death bowling, I think the guys have worked really hard on that, and we've seen guys like Norkia and Rabada at the IPL how successful they've been. So that's an area I think we've improved on already. So I mean, those are the two obvious points. And then, yeah, I think in the last series we had really good starts, and then with the bat, and then we just maybe fell away during the middle, and then we had really good finishes again. So that batting in the middle period, sort of over 7 to 15, is something that, you know, I think there's a bit of improvement we can do there. And yeah, knowing the conditions in Cape Town and Boland, which is going to be two different approaches, I think that's going to be an area where we're going to look to really have a good improvement.
Tunis, and then
Hi, Rassie. Sorry if this has already been asked. I joined a bit late, but I was wondering, you've batted through your career in a lot of different positions, also in the different formats. Where do you see yourself in this Protea team, in the T20 team, ideally wanting to bat, and why?
I think if I think about it, I'm probably at my best at number 3. Although you have to be realistic, a guy like Faf will bat at 3, and he's world class there. So 3 and 4 is not too much different. So, you know, considering that, I would say 4 is probably the position I'll be looking at. It sort of comes with the responsibility of maybe having to go in the power play. Sometimes maybe, you know, coming in the middle, and sometimes when it goes really well, being able to come in at the back end, which I feel I have all those aspects in my game. So, yeah, like I've said a few times before, I mean, the last series I opened once or twice, and being an opener traditionally, I suppose, coming from opening the batting in T20 cricket especially, you know, I sort of feel I have that part to my game as well. So I've been working really hard to sort of make my weaknesses a lot better. Mark Boucher has been brilliant with that in terms of the winter, and really communicating areas where he wants me to improve and where he thinks I can improve. And I've taken that on board and worked really hard on that with my batting coach at the Lions, Justin Salmons. And I'm at a place now where I feel I've addressed a lot of those areas. So I'm really feeling good in terms of overall technique, game plan wise. I think a lot of hard work has gone into it, and I feel I'm in a good place.
If I could just follow up quickly, sorry, what were those areas that you needed to improve on?
It's the start of my innings, more specifically referring to ODI cricket, where, you know, just a little bit more intensity. I sort of eased my way into a few innings in not recent times in my career so far. And, you know, the basic game plan was to get to 10, 20 balls and not worry too much about my score, because I know I can catch up at the back end. But I mean, that's an area, if I can be 20 of 20 balls when I come in, you know, it's a lot better than being 10 of 20 balls. So playing against spin in the middle, you know, I had 1 or 2 technical flaws that I had in my game, which I made work to an extent, but not to say that it was bad. It's just 1 or 2 slight changes that I've made that can just maybe improve my game against spin. So I suppose that's the 2 major areas, and yeah, it's if I can get 2 to 3 or 5% better, you know, that's what I'm about.
Thanks, Rassie and Tunis. We'll go with Craig and then Nathan. If there's anybody who would like to take the last 2 questions, please indicate in the chat panel and we'll take it from there.
Hi, Rassie again. Yeah, earlier this year, the players were moved to make a statement via SACA about the situation at CSA. How much has the uncertainty at CSA HQ had affected the players? Because, I mean, the fact that you actually made a statement through your trade union suggests it did quite a lot, and we know of other meetings. How much has that affected the team, and how much have you sort of discussed that in team meetings?
Yeah, look, it's not ideal. You know, and over the course of the winter, you know, because there wasn't much else happening, it was sort of brought to the forefront in terms of a player's perspective. But, you know, we're quite realistic in the sense that we know that we can't do much about it. I mean, to an extent, we are employed to play cricket, and that's what we've been doing, and that's what we'll continue to do. You know, it's SACA carries those sort of what's the word I'm looking for? SACA sort of talks on behalf of all the players, yes, but we're quite realistic in terms of, you know, we had to play cricket, to perform, to win games for our country, and by way of doing that, putting a positive message out there to the cricket loving public, you know, that's, you know, leave those things to the side, leave it to the suits to sort out. You know, all of us love cricket. We love to play cricket. The fans love to watch cricket, and we're a passionate nation and country, and we want to beat anyone that we play against. So that's basically what it boils down to for us.
Thanks.
Rassie, good morning, man. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, it's Nati from NGFM in Polokwane. If I'm not mistaken, England played since March. England already played against West Indies, Pakistan, and Ireland and Australia. And while you guys haven't played international match since March, do you think that gives them sort of an advantage over you?
Yeah, it might, but not necessarily. You know, you can see the other side of the coin and say that they've played sort of almost at the end of a long season. So, you know, they're away from home again now. So there'll be some physical fatigue. There'll be some mental fatigue. And on the other side, we're quite fresh. You know, we've had the guys playing IPL. We've had local guys playing 1 or 2 4-day matches. So we're really fresh mentally, physically. Everyone's looking really good. We're good to go. We're keen to start playing again. It's been unprecedented times, and you know, times that's made you realize how lucky you are to do what you do and how privileged you are. Yeah, we're quite excited to go out there and get back to what we love doing.
Thanks, Nati. We'll go with Percy in Afrikaans, Nasri after that. Thanks.
Rassie, ek is seker of ek julle 'n paar van Afrikaans moet vra nie. Ek gaan maar probeer gou vinnig. Rassie, eers baie dankie. Ek wil net vra gou vinnig vir jou. Ek gaan 'n vraag herhaal of 2. In Afrikaans, soos my kollegas gevra het, Engeland het heelwat al wedstryde gespeel. Trouwens, hulle het sopas nou 'n oefenwedstryd voltooi gister natuurlik. Wat 'n impak kan dit op julle hê wat nog geen oefenwedstryde of nog geen wedstryde afgelope paar maande gehad het nie? Ek ben baie optimisties dat julle sal reg wees. Wat 'n impak kan dit hê? Weet wat ek wil weet, wat het jy gedoen tydens lockdown? Het jy enige wedstryde sover gespeel? En dan my laaste vraagie, wil ek weet, ek weet die fokus nou op kids cricket natuurlik, T20 en natuurlik 20 reeks natuurlik, maar voor einde volgende maand begin 'n toetsreeks. Daar's 'n vakante pos as 'n toetskaptein. Het jy jou CV ingehandig vir daai vakante posisie as toetskaptein van die Proteas span? Baie dankie, Rassie.
Dankie, ja. Ek dink die eerste ding is ja, Engeland het al redelik cricket gespeel in die laaste paar maande. Hulle het tuisreeks gehad teen 'n paar lande, so van 'n span oogpunt af dink ek, ja, hulle definitief hulle kombinasies, hulle tyd in die middel, hulle dit gehad. Ons is daarom gelukkig dat ons ouens by die IPL gehad het wat gespeel het en baie goed gedoen het, so daai ouens kom met goeie vorm in hierdie reeks in. Ons ouens wat agtergebly het 4 dae cricket gespeel, so ons het tyd in die middel gehad. So dit mag wees dat dit dalk vir hulle 'n voordeel is. Ek is nie so seker dat dit noodwendig sal nie. Hulle kom uit 'n lang paar maande se cricket uit. Ons is vars. Ons is excited. Nou kry ek nie my Afrikaanse woord nie. Dit is moeilik om dit so te meng. Om te gaan. So ja, en daar's dalk ouens in hulle kamp wat voel hulle is moeg. Hulle is die laaste 4-5 maande speel hulle al. Dis die einde van hulle tipe seisoen. So dis die ander kant van die muntstuk. So ja, ek dink nie dis noodwendig 'n voordeel vir hulle nie. In terme van jy het gevra van die lockdown, wat het ek gedoen in die lockdown? Is dit wat jy gevra het?
Dis reg, Rassie. Net so min of meer, hoe het jy jou aktief gehou wat as sportman as cricket speel?
Ja. Ja, mense het maar gedoen wat jy kon, by die huis aktief gebly en eintlik in cricket deesdae is dit so moeilik om eintlik tyd af te vat vir jouself, want daar's altyd iets aangaan. As daar nie internasionale cricket is nie, is daar ligas oor see om te speel en so jy het baie min tyd eintlik om regtig af te vat. So ek het die begin gebruik om vir 3 weke tot 'n maand net regtig nie veel enigsins cricket te dink of so aan nie. Net daai breek te vat van 'n geestesoogpunt af en toe meer die fisiese. Ek het baie tyd aan my lyf spandeer in terme van om reg te wees vir 'n lang seisoen hopelik wat voorlê. Ek voel ek het goeie werk gedoen daar. 'n goeie vriend van my het 'n CrossFit gimnasium in Pretoria en ek het baie van daai tipe oefeninge geïnkorporeer in my program. So van 'n fisiese oogpunt voel ek goed. En ja, in die laaste 2-3 maande kon ons daarom weer begin oefen in normaliteit vir ons tot 'n mate in ons daaglikse lewens wat cricketspelers is kry. So ja, dit het basies maar net gevoel soos 'n lang afseisoen. Dan jou derde vraag oor toets, cricket en toetskaptein. Ja, dit is nie iets dink ek voor jy jou CV inhandig soos wat jy genoem het nie. Ek dink daar's natuurlik 'n paar kandidate en die natuur van die kandidate is dat wie ook al oorvat, dink ek sal baie goeie werk doen en die ouens geen probleem sal hê om hulle te volg nie. Ek sien mense skryf dat ek een van die kandidate is. Ja, dit is nie noodwendig iets wat ek voel ek hoef oor te praat nie. Vandat ek begin het by die Proteas, voel ek leef my lewe in 'n sekere manier en as mense dit sien as leierskap en as ouens my wil volg wat ek wil doen en waantoe ek wil gaan en hoe ek dink oor dinge, dan is dit 'n positief. Of mens nou kaptein is of nie, mens kort nie noodwendig altyd 'n titel om 'n leier te wees nie. So ek dink ja, dit sal seker jou vraag die beste beantwoord, maar weer eens, ek dink wie ook al oorvat, sal die regte man wees.
Thanks, Rassie. We'll take Nasri with the last question.
Hi, Rassie. I just wanted to know, how has life been like for you in the bio bubble? KG mentioned that you guys have to train in groups and so on. Just for you personally, how has it been in that bio bubble?
It hasn't been too bad. I'm a guy who's quite happy with my own conversation, my own time. So it's not a struggle for me to be alone. I read a lot and I tend to think a lot about things. So to sit for an hour and seemingly do nothing, there's, you know, it's not a problem for me. I don't necessarily have to have something or someone to keep me busy. But I mean, it's a challenge. It's more of an adjustment than a challenge, I suppose. To sit in a 5-star hotel room is a absolutely minute price to pay for the honor of playing for your country and playing against England, one of the best teams in the world. So for me personally, it hasn't been too bad. Yeah, I know some of the other guys have brought a lot of stuff, some PlayStations and some things with them to keep them busy. For me, it's been quite good.
Thanks, Rassie. We just have one final question from Tunis, who's asking what you're reading.
Oh, what I'm reading?
Yeah.
I can show him. But yeah, the current book I'm reading is Utopia for Realists. I forgot now who writes it. Let me get it. Can everyone see that? That's what I'm reading. And I'm spending some time on this, brushing up on my bird knowledge. That's for you, Ken. And then yeah, just there's a few online stuff that I'm busy with. Yeah, that's about it.
Thanks very much, Rassie, and for that show and tell. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning, and have a lovely day. Cheers.
Thanks, Rassie. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.